Welcome back. As you can tell by the title, this is the official prediction video for the second run and all that is to come for this tournament. So let's just get right on into it. We have a lot of stacked matches, and this is so far, I mean, it's only the second tournament of the 1v1 series of tournaments that I'll be hosting, but it is a start, and what a great start it has been. Spec won the first run, and now we're here at the second run with Spec returning. Dundee's here. You should all already know your lobbies and stuff by now, because that was told yesterday. The video was put out yesterday. Everything was randomized. But let's jump right into it. We got Dundee versus Stolen for the first match in the 1v1. It is a best of 3. Dundee has the class/PI choice, and Stolen has the map choice. And just for the record, everyone in black, everyone whose names is black, then you will be picking the class or PI for your matchup. And if your name is in white, then you're going to be picking the map for whoever you're playing against. Okay? So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Dundee Stolen. Now, I do have Dundee ranked higher. Stolen has been getting better slowly but steadily, and you know, you try to play it as fair as possible, but I got Dundee taking this one. I got Dundee taking this one in 2 games. It's best of 3. I say this one will be a 2-0. I do think Stolen's gonna put up a fight. Maybe the most he'll get is a 2-minute game, but I still think Dundee ultimately will come out on top here. So let's put him down. His first one, he doesn't really like 1v1s, even though he's fantastic at them, and he's going to be trying to prove to us that he's not just fantastic, he's one of the best players in the world when it comes to free-for-alls, 2v2 team events, and now trying to solidify that in the 1v1s. So I got him coming out of the first round against Stolen. Now, Moth versus Spec, these are 2 people that both played in the first run, with 2 drastically different outcomes. The first person, Moth, at the top there, who will be choosing class, he was eliminated in the first round in the 3-game series, so it was close. It was very competitive against Invincible Sid, who was not in this run here. Hopefully we get to see him back in the future. And then on the other hand, we have the winner of the first run, Spec himself. Like I said before, he defeated me, Ryan McLaren, and Spotless Owl to win the championship, and if he wants to get the second championship in the second run, he will have to go and defeat Moth in the first round this time. As far as 1v1s go, I will say Spec has a harder first opponent this time around, has a harder round 1 opponent, but look at the path that Stolen and Moth will both have to go through to win a finals. They have to beat both Spec and Dundee. I mean, well, it's a given that you have to go through both of them either way. Eventually you're gonna run into Spec or Dundee in a tournament if you're trying to win it. So yeah, my prediction for this, let's come on now. I think Spec's coming out of this one. He's just been on a roll. This one, I think the Dundee Stolen games will be closer than the Moth Spec games. By the way, don't feel slandered in any way. Because I wouldn't be doing any better than you guys. I'm washed up. I suck at 1v1s. I know my place, so this is only going to help you guys get better, hopefully. All of these tournaments and rankings and whatnot. So that is my first and second match predictions. I got Dundee beating Stolen and Spec beating Moth. For the third match up here, iBox versus Speed. As stated before, me and Tim got a little side wager going on for the year of 2024 and who that year's best/breakout player will be. He says iBox, I say Speed, and those 2 will have the chapter 1 in their Tim Panda rivalry, if you will, going into the second run here. They're cool competitors. I'm positive they don't have anything against each other. They probably don't even talk to each other, so we don't want to turn this into something where you guys feel like you have to hate each other or nothing like that. It's just between me and Tim. I do still have Speed beating iBox in this one, but I think this will be the first 3-game series, and I think Speed will take this 2-1. It's going to be interesting to see what class iBox chooses and what map Speed comes up with, But nonetheless, I still got that going. 3 games with Speed coming out on top. No bias, of course. But Speed, let's go ahead and put him in black because he will be choosing class for his next matchup. As you can see, my boomer ass, yes, I will always use Microsoft Paint. Alright, so the last match in round 1, Plum Sauce versus Top Gear Tim. Plum bursted on, well, he trotted on the scene, into the scene at the hands of Top Gear Tim. I mean, I believe everyone was introduced through Top Gear Tim of the existence of Plum Sauce, and he's been getting better. I will say he's been getting better. It is a slow grind for him. He's the newest player, I feel like, in tournament league history. I want to say in Horizon 5 at least, like the freshest person that still consistently plays and strives to get better. So we'll see what class or PI he chooses against Top Gear Tim, but ultimately Tim is still a high tier player, top 4, top 5 best player in the world depending on who you ask. And with that being said, I got Tim coming out. He was very disappointed in himself in his first round loss in the first run, and gonna try to redeem himself by going against Plum Sauce here. I think this will be the most one-sided round in the first round, the Plum Tim matchup. But oh my god, sorry, I can't seem to fucking angle this right. There we go. But yeah, Tim will be coming out against Plum Sauce. Now for the second round, this is a stacked ass second round if my predictions go as planned. Dundee versus Spec in the second round. I mean, that is a potential finals matchup that we will at least have promised to us in the second round. At least if it is to happen, it's gonna happen in the second round, I should say. So it's not promised. Stolen and Stolen and Moth could still very well upset one of these two competitors. But if my predictions go as planned, then Dundee and Spec will be facing off against each other, with Dundee having the class option and Spec having the map. Will be 3 games as well. I got this one going 3 games, and I got Spec edging Dundee out in the closest 1v1 series to date. I don't think anything will touch this matchup here if it does happen in the first run, and certainly no other matchup in this second run. Maybe Ibach Speed will be closer than Dundee and Spec, but that's the only other series that is as even and competitive as Spec Dundee on paper at least. Now the match could happen and Dundee could just 2-0 him and it could look like Spec never stood a chance, but we will see. My prediction, however, is still Spec. I got Spec. He's the best player in the world right now. He won the first run. He's the reigning champion. If we are going without any like wild card, no wild card prediction, then I'm just doing it straightforward, then yeah, I got Spec coming out here to defeat Dundee. Like I said though, it will be close regardless. But that's my prediction for who advances to the finals out of Dundee Spec. I got Spec. Speed versus Tim. Now this one as well, I don't know why I said iBox and Speed has the potential to be the second closest. Speed and Tim, if this happens, this is going to be one hell of a close-ass matchup. Tim was defeated by Spotless Owl, and for some reason, I feel like Speed and Owl play similar, but Speed in 1v1s is more dangerous, and free-for-all, I would probably say Owl has that more figured out, but just by a slither. That being said, though, this is hard. This is hard, but I think this is definitely going 3 games. You see, Speed is going to have the momentum on his side after going a potential 3 games with an opponent on even playing field, that being iBox. Meanwhile, Tim, if my prediction goes as planned, he's just going to have an easy first round. He may be caught off guard in games 1 or 2, as opposed to Speed, who will already have those reps in with iBox. It's hard. It's really hard. But my unbiased opinion tells me that Tim is he wants to win. He doesn't have a win. This is Speed's debut. He will have a win coming off against iBox if my prediction goes as planned. And Tim's biggest win up to date will be Plum Sauce. He's gonna want a bigger win than just Plum. So I got Tim winning in a 3-game series, a very close one. This probably will be the game of the tournament if it happens, of course, because these are all predictions. I could get shown up and none of this could happen. So I fucked that up. But the card choices will be interesting to see what people choose in that department as well. Tim. Why is it not? Oh, it's all fucked up now. Whatever. But yeah, I got Tim coming out in his bracket against Speed. Let's get it. Let's get it. Bro, can I not resize it? Yeah. You're seeing a boomer in action right now. Whatever. Yeah, now Spec Tim. Spec Tim. See, this match is a small rivalry between these two, I'd like to say. In Horizon 5, Spec obviously has the head-to-head advantage. I just predicting that. That's just off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong, but of the friendly 1v1s these two have played, I'm pretty sure Spec is leading in that department. But this is a tournament. Tim has the tournament experience under his belt, but he does not have the finals experience under his belt in Horizon 5 because this is only the second 1v1 finals that will be happening, and he will be having to do it against Spec. Spec will have the class/PI choice. Tim will have the map choice in a best-of-5 finals series here. Oof, oof, oof. This one, it's tough, man. Spec just looks very dominant. And if he's coming off a win against Dundee, it could go either way. He could play down a level and look at it as, hey, I got rid of Dundee, now it's easier from here on out. Or he could look at it the other way and be completely amped up after going against Dundee in a 3-game series and just 3-0'd him. So it could go either way, but if I had to predict, I think Spec wins this one 3-1. I think Tim will take 1 game off of Spec, but I think Spec will ultimately come out on top, winning 3 games to 1 and proving why he is the best 1v1 player in the world. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is my final prediction for the second run. I got Dundee beating Stolen, Spec beating Moth, Speed beating iBox, Tim beating Plum. Second round, we would have Dundee losing to Spec and Speed losing to Tim, which will set up the final match of Spec versus Tim in a game of best of 5, first to 3. So yeah, that is pretty much all I got for you guys. Stay tuned. The second run begins July 9th, this upcoming Sunday. So if you haven't already, try to message your opponent and schedule your match for as soon as possible. If you need my help messaging anyone, then just hit me up. I will do that. I'll set your roundup if you need me to. But I'd like to think that most of you guys got it in your own hands, right? So yeah, Forza's Panda, and I will see you guys in the second run. Peace out.